Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, for another video. Now today's video is a slightly different one because obviously over the last few days we've been widely discussing Philippe Coutinho, whether he will move, whether he won't move to Barcelona during the January transfer window. And obviously yesterday we spoke about that big price tag and whether Coutinho was really worth the money. What I've done today is I've compiled a list of players that we've been linked with either for the January transfer window or in the January transfer window potentially with a view to a summer move. So a lot of the players that the papers have been linking us to in recent weeks. And I've done that because I am very curious to know whether you would rather spend 150 to 180 million all on Coutinho, or would you rather pick a selection of the players that I'm about to mention and sign a few of them and maybe bolster our squad in terms of numbers. I'm going to completely leave it up to you guys. Do you want to get Coutinho, the world-class player, the one man who's going to come in and really shake up the creative side of our team, or do you want to instead bolster our squad in a number of positions and bring in a few different names who maybe aren't as high quality or high class as Coutinho, but would help our squad in greater numbers? So that is down to you guys. Please do leave me your thoughts down in the comments once you have seen the following 9 names that have been linked to Barcelona in the recent weeks and months. So obviously in this list of 9 names there is no Coutinho. I've also not mentioned Antoine Griezmann simply because that was never going to be a January transfer. That was always going to be something that was going to happen in the summer potentially, and then his release clause will be 100 million euros. So I've not included Coutinho and I've not included Griezmann. Some of these players we have been widely reported to, some of them only small reports. So there's a lot of different names here and a lot of different stories, and we're going to be breaking down every single one of them. We are going to start with Yerry Mina, 23-year-old Colombian centre-back, 6'5", of course, a very, very tall player, very strong. Plays for Palmeiras currently in the Brazilian First Division, and he has been linked widely throughout the Spanish media. Sport, Mundo Deportivo, mainly Sport on this one, have been linking us with the Mina deal, and reportedly there is already an agreement in place with Palmeiras for 9 million euros if we want to sign Yerry Mina in the summer transfer window. If we wanted to bring that forward to January, Palmeiras reportedly want us to pay more money for the signing. So we could sign him for 9 million in the summer to bolster our centre-back options, or if we want to sign him in this window, it might take a bit more. Then we move on to another player from the Brazilian league that has been very heavily linked with Barcelona right throughout the Spanish media and also in the Brazilian media as well. That is 21-year-old Melo from Brazil, of course, plying his trade currently with Grêmio. He is a controlling midfield player, somebody who is very different to Coutinho in the way that he plays in the midfield role. He's not so much a creative player, but somebody who's going to sit a bit deeper, a bit more withdrawn and just control the pace of the game, likes to get himself on the ball, likes to play those short, incisive passes. His release clause currently is 50 million euros, and according to multiple sources, Grêmio will not sell for €1 less than that amount, so he will only be leaving for 50 million. I think Barca deep down want to try and get a lower fee than that. It's not going to be possible, it seems. If we want him, we're going to have to pay that full release clause of 50 million euros. And then we go on to Mesut Ozil, 29 years old, currently German international, of course, won the World Cup, the Euros, highly regarded on the international stage. He is an attacking midfield player, again, very different to somebody like Arthur, quite similar though in terms of Coutinho. He can't play wide like Coutinho can, but he does like to operate through the middle in a much more creative role. He likes to create chances, a complete assist machine, currently plying his trade, of course, at Arsenal in the Premier League. The big story with this one, of course, though, is that Mesut Ozil will be a free transfer come the summer transfer window, and there have been multiple reports in Spain from Sport, from MD again, also from Rack 1 with regard to Mesut Ozil. Earlier on in December and November, there was a lot of talk that maybe we would be able to negotiate a 20 million euro transfer in January, or possibly we would wait until the summer when we could get him on a free transfer. But of course, it might be free, but the wages probably will be quite big for Ozil. Then we move on to Matthijs de Ligt, 18-year-old Dutch centre-back, currently plying his trade at Ajax, 6'2" tall, and he is a young talent, a really promising player, very good on the ball, come through the Ajax system, understands the way that we want to play, and he would suit our system perfectly. Somebody certainly that could grow into the future into a world-class defender. But of course, you are buying potential. De Ligt is not the finished article right now. There was a lot of talk back in November, December from Ziggo Sport in the Dutch media. They linked Barcelona to a 45 million euro move for Matthijs de Ligt. As of yet, though, of course, no more rumours, no more speculation about De Ligt to Barca. That was more in November time. By now, we've sort of gone on to Mina, when possibly we're going to spend a lot of money on Coutinho, and maybe the funds for De Ligt are no longer there. Another man reportedly on our shortlist is Leon Goretzka, 22-year-old midfielder, currently plying his trade at Schalke. Goretzka, he also will be a free agent come the summer transfer window, and there's been a lot of talk, particularly in the last few weeks and days, on Goretzka's future at Schalke. It's certain that he's pretty much not going to continue there, even though Schalke have come out very recently, and so have Bayern, to deny Sports Bild report that Goretzka has already agreed to join Bayern. Schalke came out, and so did Jupp Heynckes. Both of them have denied that that is true. There is no done deal to send Goretzka to Bayern yet, but it is certainly on the cards. Bild in Germany believed that he could be off to Liverpool, but back in November, December, he was heavily linked to Barcelona, and it was thought that maybe we would be his preferred move. But again, if we're going to be signing somebody like Coutinho, maybe somebody like Arthur, maybe our direction has changed a little bit since then. Maybe we aren't pursuing Goretzka as much now, or maybe he has indeed agreed to join either Bayern or Liverpool. That remains to be seen. We are expecting an official announcement from Goretzka before the month ends in January. Then we move on to a name that was certainly mentioned right throughout the summer transfer window, and not to a lot of positivity around it. Angel Di Maria, currently 29, he turns 30 in February. Argentinian international, of course, currently playing at PSG, a wide player. And now Sport and ESPN have both come out in the past weeks to say that Angel Di Maria is still a target for Barcelona. 45 million euros plus variables has been mentioned, which seems very, very expensive for a player like Di Maria coming to the latter end of his career potentially. But Mundo Deportivo have come out in the past few days to see that any rumours linking Di Maria to Barca in January are indeed false. They completely deny it. They say that we did want him in the summer, but right now in January, Di Maria is not an option for Barcelona. And now on to a player that I know a lot of people would like to see at Barcelona. That is Anthony Martial, and he was heavily linked to Barcelona back in the November months. Obviously 22 years old right now, French international. He can play wide on either side. He's been in and out of the United team, and back in November, Mundo Deportivo believed that Barcelona would make a move for Martial during the January transfer window. As of yet though, nothing further on that one, but nothing has really changed. Martial right now under Jose Mourinho is in and out of the team. He hasn't really stamped his authority on the team as much as he would have liked. Mourinho isn't playing him consistently in that lineup, and potentially if we did offer a big amount, no fee or no asking price has been mentioned on this one, but Martial potentially could be a target if we maybe swing our interest from Coutinho. But right now, nothing further on Martial. That was back in November, and since then there has been nothing else to report. Also, another Manchester United player that we could potentially be interested in, and that is none other than Daley Blind, 27-year-old Dutch international, somebody that is very, very versatile in the way that he can play. He can play at centre-back, he can play at left-back, and he can also play in the deeper midfield positions. And he himself has been very heavily linked with Barcelona, particularly from the English media in the past few weeks. The Daily Mail linked into us back in mid-December. That was around, just before the Clasico. There was a lot of rumours with Blind coming to Barcelona, and the Daily Mail has also published an article linking Blind with Barcelona just a few days ago. So those rumours have not died down with regard to Blind's future. And also Louis van Gaal, former Barcelona and Man United manager, came out very recently saying that Daley Blind would certainly suit the style of Barcelona, and he would be much more suited to the style of La Liga than he is currently in the Premier League. One very interesting thing about Blind as well, as you said about a lot of the players so far, he will also be a free agent come the summer transfer window. So United possibly, if an offer came in January, would think about it, and if not, he would be a free agent in the summer where we could go and pick him up for absolutely nothing. And finally, on to another rumour coming out of England. Andreas Christensen, 21-year-old centre-back from Denmark, currently plying his trade at Chelsea, and the Daily Mirror once again making claims with Barcelona, say that they have been tracking Christensen over the last few weeks very intensely and are very much considering making a move for the young central defender. Obviously in this market we're certainly looking to bring in a centre-back. Whether or not it's Christensen though, has had a good season at Chelsea. He was on loan at Mönchengladbach. Chelsea brought him back for this season, and he has settled in very, very well under Antonio Conte. Once again though with this one, the fee was completely unknown, how much Chelsea would be asking for him, and no more from the Spanish side on this one either. So there's a lot of names there, a lot of them widely reported. People like Mina, Arthur, Ozil as well in the past few months has been reported, not so much recently. Ligt as well, nothing more on that one. Goretzka's future is very much up in the air. He does seem to be leaning towards Bayern Munich, but that is absolutely not done just yet. There is a lot of names, a lot of potential, a lot of good players on this list. There's some who are maybe not so great either. But like I said at the start of the video, guys, the one thing that I really do want to know is, do you go all out for Coutinho? Do you want to spend all of our funds, most of our funds, the majority of what we have on a player like Coutinho for 150 to 180 million euros? Or do you want to pick out a selection of these players and bring them in and bolster our squad? That is the big question. I'm going to leave it completely up to you guys on what you do. Please do let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you as as always, for watching. I will have more videos coming up for you very, very shortly. Tomorrow will be the preview for the Celta against Barca game in the Copa del Rey. Barca finally return to action on Thursday of this week. So thanks as always, guys. I'll see you soon. But until then, as always, Visca el Barça!
Barça! Barça! Barça!